Who didn't want to give jobs to black people?
The white people.
Since when?
Since slavery. This is the problem.
So you're saying that
that
something that happened 150 years ago has made it so that you need to have a leg up now?
Yes.
There was the Chinese Exclusion Act here in California that happened in this country. And now Chinese people are doing better than white people in this country. They had the exact same things that happened essentially with this discrimination, and yet they are surpassing black people, white people even, in so many different areas.
So I've been meaning to want to talk about something important with the black community. If you are black, please stay, because I got something to say to y'all. Now, listen, as long as our ancestors has been on this God-forsaken continent, as many black brothers and sisters have died, as long as we fought for this country, listen, bro, I don't think we should stay here any longer. Now, listen, some of you may disagree, but I genuinely believe that our time is up here. I think black people has done enough. They have been trying to sabotage us, to get rid of us, to destroy us. They have tried to do everything in their power to destroy black people. They're still doing it in 2025, bro. I've met many black people all across the world. There's black people in Japan. There's black people in Saudi Arabia, UAE, Denmark, Iceland, Canada, China, South Korea. There's black people everywhere. Have you ever met a black Mongolian? I met one the other day. That shit is tight. We are absolutely everywhere. Everywhere you could possibly think of, we are there. We don't have to just limit ourselves to America. I think it's time to branch out and be a part of new things. Spread, enhance, evolve the black culture, the black community. What it means to be black. There are black people who speak multiple languages. There are black people who speak French. And there are some black people who don't even speak English and only speak Mandarin. There are black people in Japan who don't even speak any type of English. They speak Japanese. I understand for those who want to stay and fight. But at the same time, doesn't it get draining? Like, doesn't this shit get suffocating? Like, doesn't it feel so destructive to wake up every single morning and be like, here we go again with this country oppressing me? Like, like that, bro, that shit has to get tiring after a while. I feel like we've done everything we can, bro. We have done everything we can. And for those who don't want to leave, I have to ask you, why are you so obsessed of remaining in a country that doesn't give a fuck about you? Why do you want to live in a country that has longed to get rid of black people? And I understand that not all black people can just up and leave. I understand this completely. However, for those who have the ability to do so, why not just go for it? Because honestly, I promise you, there are so many countries out there who are far more accepting and loving and respectful towards us, to our skin color, to black people, to everything about us, compared to America. This is a conversation we genuinely need to have with each other. Fuck these niggas. They can have it. They want America. They can have it. I don't give a shit anymore, bro. I don't. Because this is a losing battle. We are constantly fighting for this shit. And we have been fighting for this shit for over 400 years. At some point, we just gotta wipe our hands off this and be like, man, y'all can keep that shit, bro. Y'all can have it. Because what the fuck else could I do? What else could we do? Because I promise you, in another 4 years, they're gonna try this shit again. And they're gonna keep trying this shit every single fucking year. And at some point, I'm just like, do I really want to live my entire life in this country that doesn't give a fuck about me or my future kids? Or even my wife, depending on who she is? Men in general do not even stand up for women, for random women. They always gonna paint themselves as a hero. It's like, well, if that happened to my wife, that happened to my daughter. It's like, no, motherfucker, would you do that? Would you stand up for a random woman that you don't even know? You can apply this to people of different minorities and ethnicities in the United States. And I guarantee you, a lot of them would say no. Whether you are right-winging or left-winging, at some point, we just gotta be like, man, fuck this shit. I do not want to raise my kids here. I don't want them to go outside and being in fear every single day because some white cop down the street is feeling trigger happy. I'm not doing it. I want my kids to be free to do what their little hearts desire and not having to worry about what they look like or the people around them. You know, I be seeing the differences in black kids and white kids. I'm taking notes. I'm keeping documents in my head. And I'm looking at these kids and like, I see the difference between the two. The black kids has to be careful how they behave, how they react, what they do, while the white kids are free to do whatever they want. And they tend to develop more because they have more freedom. They don't have that ideology that they're being oppressed in this country. Well, our kids, they can't be outgoing. They can't be so free. And that's the mental chains on us. It disrupts their development in the future. But that's not our fault. No. It's far from our fault because we're doing what we can to protect our people, to protect our family, our kids. If we want our kids to be the greatest of themselves, we cannot raise them here in the United States. I'm sorry. We can't do it. I ask you, no, I request from you, from the black community that is watching this, please consider on leaving the United States and never returning. If you are in a biracial relationship and have biracial kids, take them with you. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. If there are other ethnic minorities, even better. Take them with you. But our time, for black people in general, like, we're done. We are done. And I don't think we should stay here any longer.
If you're a black American, stay out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. It's the worst city in America for black Americans. Why is that? Well, it's because the gulf in wealth between white people and black people is the largest in the country. It means that home ownership is much lower for blacks than it is for whites, and the same is true of income, too. It's a shame that this is true in a lot of cities, particularly big cities in the Midwest. So if you're black and you're considering moving, stay out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. It's a hell of a place to have to live.
One of the most difficult and exhausting things about being black in this country, but especially during times like this, is seeing how frequently you stand alone when you ride for everybody else. Black people voted in the greatest percentage against Trump, and even though he ran on deportations in all three of his campaign cycles, which still isn't affecting black people, we still showed the most support against him in those policies. Deportation doesn't affect us, and still we voted against him and his policies, knowing that they would affect everyone else more than us. We literally rode for y'all harder than you rode for yourselves. Yet so many of you have spoken up against every pro-black safety, empowerment, civil rights, peace movement that we've had, at least in my lifetime. And don't get me wrong, there have been plenty of you who supported, and you already know I'm not talking to or about you. I'm talking about people like the Latinos that voted for Trump and sang songs about it, and then when their abuelas got deported are like, well, where are the black people standing up for us? The where's Kamala crowd. The group that still listens to this administration of idiots and somehow blames Barack Obama for shit that's going on right now. So consistently, this country has shown black people that being black means to be in everyone else's corner but have no one in yours. And the most frustrating part remains the reality, the knowledge that we're gonna still keep fighting. Not just for you, but for us as well, because we know that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And if one of us isn't free, then none of us are free. Despite how frustrating it is for us that y'all can't get that through your fucking skulls.
Why is it that an immigrant can come over from another country that speaks English as a third language, that doesn't really understand even our rules, our laws, doesn't have any resources, and they go out there and they absolutely dominate in this business? And you take some white kid from middle America that has perfect parents and a perfect upbringing with no trauma, all of the platform to springboard and go off in life and do well, and they totally fuck it all up and never get a deal and quit the business. The difference is their psychology. The difference is the mindset.
I come to y'all because a lot of the times people don't know what's going on politically around me. Therefore, I can't have intellectual conversations with people and they give a damn. Or know who Peter Thiel is, or know who J.D. Vance is, or know of Gavin Newsom. They don't know what the fuck is going on, nor do they give a fuck. I just had like a low-key, high-key argument with my spouse. Without putting him on the spot, I just think it's ignorant to sit and think that None of this shit that's happening across states will not affect your black ass. So it pisses me off when I hear black people say, I don't listen to politics. It's too much fear mongering. I don't keep up with this and that because, my kids need to eat today, or I have stuff and bills that I got to pay for today. I seen this video last night at 2:30 in the morning from Yaya. I'ma tag her. I watch her content frequently, but when I saw that she gave confirmation to something that was in the pit of my fucking stomach, that black Americans need to be getting their passports and thinking of an exit plan, as folks around her that are in higher positions in law enforcement has advised her to, one, to stop speaking against this administration on these public platforms, or two, get you an exit plan, because although it don't feel bad right now, a lot of shit feels normal. That's what it's supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel like it's normal that U.S. troops are being sent to Washington, New York, Chicago. We're supposed to feel that normalcy for a while, because when the escalation happens, y'all, we know, be no resistance. I thought in the beginning of this election that we all agreed that we would resist. I always knew that it was going to be us. Some of us are stuck dealing with this bullshit that people voted into office. No other option than to stay and either fight, cave, or resist, or die trying. You have some of us that just don't pay attention at all.
Black people have an exit plan. And when I say exit plan, I'm not talking about a different state. I'm talking about somewhere else, period. Like somewhere else. And I high-key been feeling that way for a couple years now. Actually, a few years now. I would say at least 4 to 5 years. I've been feeling like, hey, this is probably not the place for me. I'm finally making this video now and putting it on my platform now because I truly feel like it's going to be more violence that happens, because we're in really bad times right now. We're in times where like people are really getting sick of it. For example, what just happened to Charlie, like people are really like getting upset with our top 1%, which is understandable in a sense because, what our top 1% advocates for, right? And in turn, it's going to be a lot of conservative people being violent towards whomever they deem is responsible. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of violence towards black and brown people. It's going to be a lot of violence towards women. It's going to be just overall a lot of violence. And politically, this place that we're in is just not going to get any worse. I don't foresee it getting any better, So it's like when I say have an exit plan, I truly mean that. Do your research on what places suit you the most, where you would feel the most comfortable. And if you have the means, take trips to those places and really try to feel them out. But yeah. And don't have the mindset like, oh, this place is dangerous or this place is dangerous. Ain't no other place. Unless you're talking about somewhere in the Middle East, maybe, there's not many places that's more dangerous than the U.S. I'm going to just keep it a bean. I know there's going to be a lot of black people that's like, oh, ain't nobody going to run me out. Ain't nobody going to run me out of my city. It's bigger than that at this point. It's like, it's not about running you out. It's about, okay, I can spend my whole life fighting for change. I can spend my whole life fighting for justice. I can spend my whole life fighting, or I can actually be somewhere living my life.
Not every black person is African American. Ooh, controversial, right? I've done my research. I choose to call myself a black American. One, well, I was born in America. My parents were born in America. My grandparents were born in America. That's all that I can trace back. Then it goes into Native American, European and things like that. So how are you an African American? You guys know that not all people that had brown skin or that was of African descent were slaves in America, right? Because then you would be saying that, you mean to tell me not one person from the whole continent of Africa came over to America when it's been documented that several did, and they were not slaves. They came over on their own free will, just like the Spanish did also? Did they not have boats and ships? Because history says that they did. So when people are like, oh, well, you're African American. No, I'm Black American. Once you get 3 generations out, you're no longer from that place. Your blood is now American blood. Why don't we call people that are from the UK, their ancestry maybe down the line, British Americans? Why are Black people the only one that's called African Americans? It's kind of like it's still trying to keep us separate. I'm a Black American. And actually, I don't even like saying that. I'm an American.
I kid you not, the police are stopping young black men because they haven't stripped off enough in the sun. I'm going to play you a video and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about it.
We're okay with that. I just like to say, because I'm not trying to speak now. I'm just saying, use that every thick uniform. So use that, you know, messing up how police. But there you go. So I'm not saying it's wrong. I just wanted to say that. I know. I'm just saying culturally, just be careful what you say. Because culturally, this is normal attire. I know. What I'm saying is, you look at everyone here and they're in shorts and t-shirts. I know, but this is culture. This is culture. I'm not saying it's not. And it just makes us look at people, doesn't it? Because if there was a loads of blacks walking in those hoods off, it wouldn't be a problem. So I'm just saying culturally. I wouldn't agree with that. Come on. Okay. Alright then. Culturally, this is where.
Out of interest, out of pure education, what culture?
Caribbean. So we can walk in hot climates with these clothes on, so that's what we can culture. I'm just saying.
One thing I've definitely noticed growing up in the UK and also working abroad is that brown and black people don't strip off when the sun comes out. We're not butt naked walking around in our shorts like, whoa, it's so hot. A lot of brown and black people, especially those that are born abroad, are used to heat. So when it's hot, sometimes you'll see us in hoodies. Sometimes you'll see people with hats on or coats. Like I've literally seen it walking through the streets of London. I'll go past somebody who's white and they're in like a little vest top, a little skirt, and then I'll walk past a black or brown woman and she's wearing a jacket. It's quite normal. Yet the police in this video used that as an excuse to stop these young black men because they weren't half naked, because they were still dressed in like spring clothing, not summer clothing. God's sake. Are we now being policed on how we deal with the sun? This is getting out of control. Any excuse to stop our youth, any excuse to criminalize them, this needs to end. So when I say to you that when it comes to people of the global south, I do not trust the police. I don't trust what they say. I don't trust what they do. I have personal experience of it. So when we're talking about police investigations into the deaths of brown and black people, no, I don't trust them. When it comes to criminalizing brown and black people, no, I don't trust them. This is another evident example of discrimination.
Look, you can't make this up. I seen an African tell another group of Africans if they don't like America, they could leave. Check this out.
Why do people leave their countries to come to America for a better life, only to turn around and try to push their own cultures, rules, and ways onto us? You come here, then jump into politics to change laws, form your own communities, and try to reshape everything. If America was so bad, why are you here? Take Minnesota, for example. What is even happening there? I am an African American. And the day I feel I can't stand how this country operates is the day I pack up and go somewhere else.
First off, this African woman is not African American. She looked like she's from like Central or West Africa. She's a Bantu. She has a problem with the Somalis in Minnesota, saying that they're not assimilating. They're coming and bringing their culture to America, right? So I don't understand how Africans are forcing this oneness onto black Americans when they don't even believe in that oneness, right? She just told another group of Africans, if you don't like the way America operate, you could go. And another thing that I wanted to point out, how she said, oh, if I don't like America, I could just get up and leave. Like black Americans, we don't think that way. If we don't like America, we're going to try to change what we don't like about it. So that's another thing, how we're different from Africans, because we don't flee. Like, they'll always tell you, oh, that's why I got another home. This is our home, America.
America has got to be the only country where black people identify with another country. Because I just came across black Scottish people, and I've been sitting here for about the last 30, 40 minutes just watching their videos. Not one black person over there in Scotland identified as African Scottish. Every one of them was just like, yeah, we're Scottish. Every one of them. So then that made me go do research on people from other countries, black people from other countries. Bruh, all of them just say where they're from and they claim to be a part of that country. So why do Americans want to identify as African Americans? When do we get to a point in America to where whenever you think Americans, you think of white people? Why is that? Black people are Americans. Y'all are just as much American as anybody, as white people. We are all Americans, okay? I identify as American. That's the only reason I said y'all, because I don't identify as African. I ain't got no connection to Africa or Europe. I'm just an American, bro. I've been saying that. So, but like, why do we get to that point? Y'all are Americans. You have no connection to Africa. You see what I'm saying? You're not living in African culture. You go to Africa right now, you know nothing about what's going on over there. You don't know the language. You don't know the culture. You don't know none of that. Half of y'all only want to be a part of the good parts of Africa anyway.
When it comes to the job market in LA or California, there's a huge discrimination issue going on with Black Americans. Employers are not willing to hire Black Americans even if they are qualified. Even if they're overly qualified, they're still not willing to hire them. There is a hidden agenda at play here. We've seen an increase of employers only wanting to hire people from the Hispanic community, and there's nothing wrong with that because people have to work and provide for their family, but they're not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it with the intention to control, because when it comes to fighting for injustices or speaking up about certain things, they feel like the Hispanic community is not going to speak up because they're normally quiet.
Yeah, and then you have Hispanics they don't want to hire black people. Let's just be real about that. There's over 170 class action lawsuits in California from Los Angeles to San Francisco, with over 30% of the offenders against black people are Hispanics, just simply because they won't hire them. Now, this is them working at somebody else's establishment, practicing these discrimination practices, and then this is them with their own companies just refusing to hire black people. You could just walk around Southern California, Los Angeles specifically, who's working the front office of these businesses. Go get a doctor appointment. Who's going to be in the front? Who's going to be the medical assistant? And it's not like black Americans don't have these certificates or licenses. It's just simply that they won't hire them, right? And we could talk about the state jobs, the county jobs, the city jobs. It's just, you're just closed out of the market, period. And last time I checked, isn't a white supremacist mayor of Los Angeles, isn't that a white supremacist? Oh, it's Karen Bass. Oh, she identifies as a black lady. And you know what? She's never going to address this issue because she don't want to mess with her Latino Hispanic fan base who she really advocates for.
So, folks, the idea that black Americans don't belong in the United States isn't new. Versions of that argument have appeared throughout American history, right back from slavery to segregation to the civil rights era, and even today in online spaces, TikTok, Instagram, and political, even historic. But here's the question. If some says that black Americans should leave America, where exactly are they supposed to go? Millions of black Americans were born in the United States. Their families have lived there for generations. They have served in the military, started businesses, built communities, voted in elections, and helped shape nearly every aspect in American culture. From music and sports to science, medicine, and public service. For instance, if you're born, you're born in America, but your parents are immigrants from other countries. So you're an United States citizen. What about your families? Are they United citizens, as asked in the desk? At the same time, there are people who argue that demographic change, immigration, or debates over race have fundamentally changed the country. Some express concerns about crimes, about education, or identity and connect to those issues, which is fairly not right, or maybe fairly unfair to race. Others reject those arguments entirely, saying they rely on stereotypes rather than evidence. That disagreement is what makes this conversation so heated. Is America defined by ancestry, by citizenship, or by shared values, or by something else entirely which we don't know? So false. History also differs. Sorry. History itself also offers an important perspective that Black Americans were central to the fight for equal rights during the civil rights movement, pushing the country to comfort laws and practices that denied the basic freedoms, which we all know. But the debate over equality did not end with the land banks legislations. False. I've asked a question about if you were born in the United States, but your parents are immigrants from other countries. So you will call yourself a United States citizen. What about your parents? Please answer my question in the comment section. Feel free, but respectfully. It's just a question. So false. The result is a country where many people feel misunderstood, mostly when you're black. But I've heard even the black farmers, the issue of black farmers. Yeah, so false. Whether you agree or disagree, one thing is very, very, very impossible to ignore to all of us. America is still wrestling with questions that many believe had already been settled long time ago. But unfortunately, the conversations about race, identity, and belonging isn't going away anytime soon. We all know, we all can admit that every election, every viral controversy, and every major headline seems to reopen the old wounds which had started to heal and create new division again. So false. The real challenge is whether those conversations lead to understanding, or they're just simply pushing people further apart instead of bringing them together. Now, false. That's my own opinion. So what about yourself? What do you think? Now it's your turn. Do you believe that America is becoming more united or more divided? Is the country making progress, or all debates returning in a different form? False. I think we should not judge people with their skin color. We should all unite and do something to change America. So please, false, share your thoughts in the comments below, but keep the discussion respectfully, as I've told you. If you enjoyed this analysis and you want more in-depth commentary on the biggest stories shaping America today and the world, please, false, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification so you never miss out our next discussion. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, and may the people of America unite and make America great again. Thank you very much. We'll meet again in the next episode.